And at one point in time, he also says, "Whoa, yowza," when he puts on these those specs, and that made me laugh pretty hard.
They give you X-ray vision. Whoa, yowza!
Give me a break.
So pervy, dude, but so funny. Yeah, if you get two teenagers and like one of them has like an X-ray glasses, like, yeah, you're gonna get a yowza in the 90s. Sorry. Right.
Yowza. Yeah. Okay.
Yowza.
Yeah, he hit that yowza really good too. So
you say it like it's a dance move. Like he hit that yowza hard too, man.
He did. That yowza was slapping for sure.
Full commit to the yowza.
Yeah, he did. He did. He really did.
Hello and welcome to the 90s Nightmares podcast. I want to congratulate you, man. You found your new favorite podcast. If you love shows like Are You Afraid of the Dark, Goosebumps, if you read all 3 of the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark books, if you know that all of the best episodes from shows like Hey Arnold, Rugrats, and Batman are the Halloween episodes, you made it. We're here, man. This is where we chill. The show is called the 90s Nightmares Podcast, and you have 2 hosts. I am one of them. My name is Darek.
And I am the other one, and I am named Booze.
Booze. That's a weird... Did your mom pick that out, or was that Dad's name?
I think it was a little bit of both. I'm not really sure where it derives from, but...
They're going to be a Booze Jr. one day?
Yeah. And we're just going to call him Shooter.
Yes. Go grab your sister. Shot.
Yeah.
Let's get over here.
Yeah.
Yep. Good one, man. All right, cool. Well, here's what we're doing. So we're watching right now every episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark in what I'm calling IMDb order. And the one that we're covering today was from season 1. It's called The Tale of the Super Specs. Now, this is not available on Paramount Plus, which is what Booze and I are normally watching on, but we did find it on YouTube. It's in a couple of different places. Now, if you know where to look, you can go watch it as well. And also let me set an expectation, or at least a hope that I have with you, the listener. Watch along with us. We put out these shows every 2 weeks, and we're going in order. So if you want to follow along with us and just watch the episode during our 2-week peace out, which we're still active on social media and stuff. But if you just want to get caught up on what we're going to be talking about in the next episode, you know where to do it. You know what it's going to be. I invite you to. Please consider.
Yeah, please do.
All right, so let's do a couple things. All right, this episode originally aired on September 19th, 1992. It's called The Tale of the Super Specs, and here's the synopsis. It says, Weeds, a prankster, buys his girlfriend, Mary Beth, a pair of super spec glasses as part of his April Fool's Day collection. Once she puts on the glasses, strange figures appear and can't be explained. Sounds cool, right?
It does.
So I want to rate the show before we get started into much else, Booze. Are you down for that?
Yeah, let's do it. All
right. You want to do it at the same time or no?
Yeah, let's go same time.
All right, cool. Let me think for a second. All right, here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1, 3.
4.5.
We didn't do it at the same time again. You waited. Is that just because you don't want to say your number on top of mine?
Yeah, maybe. I think, and I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing it that way, but it's just naturally happening that way.
You're basing your score off my score, right? Is that why you need me to go first?
Maybe internally that's just what I'm doing, and then externally it's happening as well. So.
No, I gave it what did I give it? A 3? Yeah, I gave it a 3, dude. Maybe a 3.5 would be more accurate, dude, because this is a good one. I love spoilers for a 30-year-old TV show, but I love, dude, when you get to find out that like you were on maybe not the wrong side the entire time, but it's almost like, you know, every like the best villains always have like the most relatable circumstances. You know what I mean? Like we know why the Joker is the way that he is. We know why, you know, these other bad guys, when we can see things from their perspective, it makes a lot of sense. Like Thanos, for example, dude, when he snapped in that Infinity War, and I was like, oh, I get it. I get why you would want to get rid of half of everything, right?
Yep. And that's why I gave it a 4.5, because this is my favorite episode we've watched thus far.
Favorite episode we've watched thus far. Okay, good to know. I think this definitely was the most fun for me. I can't think of the best one that I've seen so far, but this is the most fun.
You already told me earlier that the Hungry Hounds was your favorite episode. Remember?
Shut up, dude. Stop right now. I will not have that in this house. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up again.
Yeah, I know. It's hard. It's hard to, it still left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. So every now and again, I gotta put that out there, but
got a taste of kibble in my teeth still. It's probably because I keep pulling it out of my pocket.
Yeah, that could be. That could be.
All right. Well, you gave it a 4.5.
Yeah,
I gave it a 3.5.
Yep.
I think I am ready. Yeah, dude. Can you take us down this journey, Booze?
Yeah, let's go ahead. First and foremost, before we do that, I know we're getting to the point where we also like to have a nice little icebreaker question. So I have one for you, and I will preface it with, I don't want this to turn into a huge tangent because I know we both are pretty big video game lovers. So my question to you is, has there ever been a game that has gotten to you like emotionally, like where you potentially might have cried man tears might have came down, or you could have gotten that cusp where you get that feeling in your throat where you're like, oh man, this is a heavy moment. Is there a game out there that has ever done that for you or to you?
Yes, but I'm just trying to think of maybe the name of the game or what I was playing it on. It's got to be Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, you know?
Yeah.
Watching Rodney Mullen nail all those Casper slides? No, I'm just kidding. It's not. That's not it.
I was like, okay. I mean, to each their own. If that was making you emotional, man, good for you.
No, Eric Costin, RIP, just means so much to me, dude. Watching his footage in the montage after the credits. No, that wasn't
for sure.
You know what? There was, but what the heck was it? Maybe I just blocked it from memory. Legit played a video game and I cried. I don't remember what the hell it was. Do you have one? Can you go while I think?
Yeah, I have I wouldn't say quite a few, but there is, if anybody's ever played any of the Telltale games where it's the point and click, story rich type of things where decisions matter and stuff like that, where you kind of mold and create your own story as you play along. But they had a Walking Dead Telltale series, and
they did, yeah.
And I'm not going to spoil it if there's anybody out there that's never played these, but there's a moment and moments in those games where I'm literally, it's just like it's like you were creating your own TV show in a way, and you get to choose and morph and create these things that are happening in front of you, and your decisions matter and can affect this character and this story arc and stuff like that. And again, there's been more, but if I had to pick one of the Telltale, my favorite one, it's definitely The Walking Dead. And there's quite a few moments within that game where I was getting choked up, or man tears may or may not have been shed. So,
you know what? I am struggling to think of the one that made me cry. I don't know. Maybe I legit just blocked it out, dude. But this is probably relatable. Like I used to play, like, not a lot of video games, but I used to play video games, right? Before my wife and I have kids. But ever since they've came around, like, they own the place, it's hard for me to dedicate as much time to playing games as maybe I used to, or as much as I would like to. But you know what, dude? And maybe this is the same for you, but when you have kids, like, something just switches. Like I cry more now than I ever have before.
100%.
So I'm sure that if I did play one of those Telltale games, or if I did play one of these, story-rich games, I'd be balling, dude. I just don't have the time to actually. Yeah. Forgive me. I don't make the time to do that now. But there are, like, commercials that get me. You know what I mean? Like, if you watch any Dodge Ram commercial during the Super Bowl, that's always so dramatic. They get me. I remember the last time that I cried from media was from Onward, that Disney movie. Have you seen that?
Onward. Is that the
Onward? These mystical, magical creatures. They're brothers. They kind of grew up without a dad.
Yeah. Yep. That was a really good movie.
Yeah. That one got me. So me being an older brother, but dad's still here, you know, like
Yeah.
all good stuff, all good stuff. But
Yeah.
just putting myself in their kids' shoes, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, dude, I don't know what I would do, but yeah.
I mean, if it's not a Disney movie, if you're not like some kind of tragedy or, you know, at the very beginning or something like that too, you know.
That one got me. All right, I'm thinking about it now. You ready to move on?
Yeah. Before you see Derek start crying on camera, we'll go ahead and get into the episode. So we immediately come into the episode, and we're not at the campfire, which I don't know if you have the stats or remember the stats for that, or at least thus far, because I forgot to write those down. But we are not starting out at the campfire in this one.
There are 5 episodes in the whole series that don't start at the campfire. This is one of them.
Okay. Well, there you go. And we are in what looks like a magic or a prop gimmick, you know, that type of shop. And we find out pretty quickly that this is owned by Gary's dad. And Gary and Kristen are inside talking, and she's like, "Oh, I can't believe your dad really owns this shop." And he's like, "Yep." And then he's showing her around a little bit. And then we come to find out that some of the members of the Midnight Society are talking a little shit and saying that, "Hey, Gary, your stories kind of suck lately, man."
About your stories, Gary. I shouldn't be telling you this, but some of the guys have been saying that they haven't been too scary lately.
Heard you been talking some schmack.
Yeah, they're not scary. And he's like, "Oh, really? Really? They're not liking the stories." And like, no, then everybody's saying that your stories aren't scary anymore. And he's like, "Oh, okay." And at one point in time, he also says, "Whoa, yowza," when he puts on these those specs, and that made me laugh pretty hard.
They give you X-ray vision. Whoa, yowza!
Give me a break.
So pervy, dude, but so funny. Yeah, if you get 2 teenagers and like boy and a girl, and one of them has like an X-ray glasses, like yeah, you're gonna get a yowza in the 90s. Sorry. Right.
Yowza. Yeah. Okay.
Yowza.
Yeah, he hit that yowza really good too. So
you say it like it's a dance move. Like he hit that yowza hard too,
he
man.
Did. That yowza was slapping for sure.
Full commit to the yowza.
Yeah, he did. He really did. I think that's probably what made me laugh so hard. But not long after that, we cut back to we do go to the campfire, and before Gary shows up, it's just a couple of the other members. They are, still talking a little smack, and you actually get to see and hear them saying like, "Yeah, Gary's stories lately just suck. They're not scary." And then not long after that, Gary shows up and he scares Kiki. So right as she's saying his stories aren't scary and they're not scaring her anymore, she gets a jump scare from Gary, which is kind of funny.
Irony.
Yeah. And Gary also tells them that, hey, David's not going to be here tonight. He's sick.
Hope David starts feeling better soon, man.
Yeah. Maybe he was probably saying yowza a little too many times, and maybe that's what got him sick. And
too much of a good thing, man.
We get into the story that, and this is going to be David's story, so maybe he's trying to redeem himself here. Or not David's story, I'm sorry, but Gary's story. Yeah.
Gary's story.
Story. Yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah. Good job. And then we get introduced to the character who they are also funny enough, in one of these shops where you can buy gimmicks and gags and masks and, practical jokes type of stuff. And we're introduced to the character who is named Weeds. And we've had some interesting names thus far in this show, but I think Weeds is up there for taking that crown.
For most interesting name so far? Yeah. Weeds.
Yeah. And do you think, is that you think that's a nickname, or you think that his parents are like, yeah, Weeds?
I bet his last name is Weeds, and that's just what he goes by.
Okay. That's
right.
I'm going to tell myself that too. And Weeds is talking to a girl her name is Mary Beth. And she's it sounds like they pretty quickly, they tell, or you find out that they're boyfriend, girlfriend. And Weeds he picks up like this little handbag, or not, I guess it's not a handbag, of powder. and tosses it up and says some kind of like spell or something onto I think there's 7 or 8 of these glasses laying on a table, and it kind of flashes. Do you remember that part where it like kind of flashes and kind of goes like rainbowy or that RGB type of thing?
Yeah,
it makes them go really
they use
colorful.
that effect a lot in this episode too. I love it.
Yeah, I do too. I was definitely into it, and and this next part made me laugh pretty hard. I'm kind of wondering if it made you laugh too, because Mary Beth says, we've been seeing each other for a long time now, right? And he's like, yeah, almost 2 weeks.
That's high school relationships, dude.
Yeah.
I'm really serious about this one. It's been 2.5 weeks now. And
yeah, we're really ready going steady for about 2 weeks now. So it's getting pretty serious. I think I'm going to ask her to the Sadie Hawkins dance.
Sadie Hawkins to the winter ball.
Yeah. And then we get introduced to my favorite character of this entire episode, which is Sardo, and he tells you accent on the dough.
Did you say Sardo?
Is it Sardo or Sardao or?
It's wrong. It's wrong, buddy. It's there is no Mister for starters, and the accent is on the dough.
It's Sardo. No Mister. Accent on the dough.
yeah, that's right. There's no Mister. And then we also find out that it's April Fool's Day, so that's why they're in here picking up, because Weeds is a pretty big practical joke guy. So he's wanting to buy a bunch of gimmicks and gags and pranks and stuff to get a bunch of people at school with.
He just wants to see the world laugh, dude.
Yeah, I can't blame him. I mean, is that when you were a kid, is this stuff you go buy some fake vomit, some whoopee cushions, stuff like that? Is that up the Darek alley or no?
I don't remember doing that at all. Let me think for a second. Did I buy a bunch of prank stuff? Nah, dude. But I'll take my boy to the mall now, and they have like this toy store that has like a prank section, and he's all about it. He'll buy fake poop. He'll buy like the cookie that has the cockroach underneath it. So when you pick it up, there's a cockroach. He thinks that's so funny, dude. So whenever we go to the mall together, we get something to prank mom with. Later that day.
That's cool. I like that.
He's just, dude, if you could see him, he's just like giddy all day for her to come home, dude. Because this is on a day where it's like a holiday. There's no work, no school, but she still works. So him and I will just go on the town and just buy silly stuff and just scare mom with it later, dude. So he's all about it. He is the Weeds of today's generation.
There you go. That's awesome. that is awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever did any of this stuff when I was a kid. At least not. I don't think we really had any local shops, unfortunately, in my area that had this type of stuff. So I grew up in a pretty rural area. So
you didn't have like a joke shop at all?
No, not that I remember having as a kid.
Okay.
I think I've seen a few as an adult, but as a kid, I didn't have anything here locally that was even relatively close to this. So I think that probably played a pretty big reason why I didn't do this. Cause I think we spoke on it on another episode before. That's probably why I was into TPing and doing stuff like that, is because there's nothing else to do, so you just had to go or get into some stuff that you probably shouldn't be doing. And yeah, unfortunately, I didn't have anything around here like that.
Okay. Makes perfect sense, man. I'll tell you about my definition of cool was the people that worked at the magic shop that I would go to every now and then that was downtown. Oh, yeah. They were so cool, dude.
Oh yeah.
And the thing that they loved to say, and if you, the listener, if you have a magic shop and you've been there before, you've heard this line before too, I promise. They say, hey, this magic trick is $9.99 plus practice. Instead of saying plus tax, right? Because you can buy the thing, but that doesn't mean you know how to do the trick,
Exactly.
You got to practice it so it still looks good. And when my little brain found out that you could just buy magic tricks, it was a mind freak, dude. I loved it.
It was over from there. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I feel like and I honestly don't know, but I feel like every magic shop out there like this had a Sardo in them. It has to have that person at the helm of the ship,
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. You can't just be a regular dude and own like a magic joke shop.
No, you just can't. It just won't work. You won't be selling anything,
Let's do it.
Yeah. So Weeds picks up a couple of things, and one of the items he picks up is these X-ray vision glasses. And like I said earlier, he threw that dust and did that spell or whatever on them. So, and that's when they glowed and got super colorful. So, Mary Beth is like, oh, these don't work or something to that effect. And so she puts them on. And when she puts them on, we get the whoosh or whatever that sound is whenever she puts them on. And she sees did she see she saw a figure within the shop once she put them on, and it kind of trips her up, and she's kind of questioning, oh, did I see that, or what was that? You know, and then when she takes them off, the figure's no longer
she
there.
saw that morph suit, dude.
Yeah. Yep, that black morph
kind of
suit.
look like they look like discount putties from the Putty Patrol. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, it did. I was thinking of like the foot soldiers from the Ninja Turtles, like the whole time, if they would have just had a couple more items. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. If they had like the red and then like the great eyes, for sure. That's the foot soldier costume right there.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And the next scene we see is Weeds is sitting up against a tree reading a book called Voodoo Made Easy. I'm not sure if that's something he picked up at the store or if that's something he's just already has, you know, at home. You're doing some light reading, you know, do some reading on voodoo like you do.
Voodoo like you do.
Voodoo like you do. And then he gets out the dust, the little dust sack that he has, and he puts a spell on this girl's yogurt.
Can you not call it a dust sack for me, please? Can you call it anything else?
Yeah, that would probably
do me a favor.
Yeah, I got you. That's probably right. And so we can take it a little bit more seriously and not laugh too hard every single. Yeah, dust sack is probably not the best
every
thing
time you
to
say
call it.
dust sack, I'm gonna lose it. So please do not.
Okay, how is baggy okay, or is that too close to sack?
That's perfectly fine. Baggy of dust baggy.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
Dust baggy. Okay. And so he pulls out his dust baggie and sprinkles some of that dust into a yogurt, which really grossed me out for some reason. I'm like, all right. Yeah. Okay. And then quickly replaces this girl's yogurt after he does that. And then it changes her voice. She sounds like she's got that high pitched, like, chipmunk type of thing going on.
My voice. What's wrong with my voice? I sound like a chipmunk.
Yeah. And then we just leave that scene. Nothing else happens. We don't know if her voice continues to sound like that forever or if it was just something that happens temporarily, but we're done with that girl. On to the next scene. And the next scene
based on the ending of the episode, I bet it does sound like that forever. Because
forever, yeah, that's what that was my interpretation of it too. I was like, I just assumed that, like, okay, well, based on everything else that happens, I think that she's just stuck with that, you know.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. Enjoy your yogurt.
And the lamest part, dude, he didn't even know that it worked because it takes a while.
Oh right, yeah. He left before it even happened. Yep.
So he left before it took effect, and he was like, I knew this was a waste of time, is what he said. And then he runs off.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. And then we go to, he's inside school now and he's got another prank for another kid. And this is when one of the kids opens up his locker and you got one of those nice fists that shoot out and smacks him in the face. And he actually gets to witness this one. So he gets some good enjoyment out of that one, at least.
Good old fist coming out of the locker prank.
Yeah. Classic, right? So then after that, they leave school and Mary Beth puts on the glasses again and she sees the same. Does she see the woman this time or does she see another just regular figure? Do you remember?
I think we're outside, right? She sees the woman by the tree.
By the tree, right. Okay, that's what I thought, but I had to be sure. Yeah, so she sees a woman this time and she just points. She's got the book in her arm and she points. And so...
Can I tell you about the scariest dream I've ever had in my whole life to this day?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's very reminiscent of this episode. And I don't think this episode triggered it because honestly, I don't remember a lot of these dark episodes from when I was a wee lad, but maybe it's in my subconscious somewhere. But dude, so when I saw this in real time just the other day when I was rewatching it, I had flashbacks of my dream. So I'm skateboarding outside of this old theater, right? And I have got my girlfriend with me. We sneak inside to see what it's like, you know, at night when there's no lights or whatever. I don't know what the goal was. But we find our seats, and then I look up at the stage and I see this Victorian dress. It's like a ghost, right? It's this Victorian dress. It's like mostly blue, I think, with like some white lace. No arms, no legs, no head. It's just a floating dress, but you can tell somebody's wearing it. And then all of a sudden you see her arm come up and then point towards like my direction, right? And that, for some reason, telling it now doesn't seem all that bad, but I think I was like a young adult. I was in my like late teens when I had this nightmare, and I woke up sweating, dude, cold, scared for my life, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely creepy as hell.
When I saw this woman do that in this episode, in the exact same way that my dream woman did, took me back. I had to pause for a second.
Yeah, took you back. That's crazy. Yeah, that's pretty, sounds pretty similar. Sounds very similar. And then right after she sees that woman, she takes the glasses and throws them away in the trash can that's right in front of her.
Yeah, good. Get rid of them.
Yeah. Let's be done with this. Okay, I've seen these things twice now. The figure was enough, but now that I'm seeing a woman pointing at me, like, nope, we ain't doing this. Nope, these are going in the trash right now. And so Mary Beth leaves, and then Weeds goes to play some basketball, and they're playing horse, and he's getting his butt whooped. At least it seems like. And so he turns around and gets out the ye old baggie again, you know, and sprinkles some powder on the basketball. And
like you do,
you know, keep that thing on you, sprinkle some powder on it, you know, it's just so you can switch the next shot. And so it's Weed's shot, and I think this is for the game, and then he airballs it. So he loses, and then the kid's like, hey, you owe me 2 sodas now, which made me laugh too.
And
like,
Weeds is just distraught about it, dude.
Oh, yeah.
He is just so upset by
upset.
himself. I'm down 2 sodas now. Jeez.
2 sodas, man. Like, I only got so many, and you're taking 2 of them, man. I shouldn't be betting all these sodas.
Does he know that they come in like a 12-pack most of the time? Like, does he's got to know that, right?
He has to, right? You would think. I mean, he should have maybe you don't spend so much money on all these pranks, and then maybe you might have enough to get a good amount of sodas. Amen. But yeah. He's
probably just used to buying prank sodas, which are way more expensive than regular sodas.
Yeah. And so they call it a game, and they're walking away, and Weeds throws it up above his head, like those trick shots that we always tried as a kid, and swishes it. And
now he's on Dude Perfect.
Yep. Couldn't do that during the game, but afterwards he nails it. And but neither, they hear it, and they both think that they know what they heard. They look at each other, and then they're both like, nah, and walk away.
Hold up. Do you know who Dude Perfect is?
He looked really familiar, but no.
No. Here's the joke, okay? Dude Perfect is a YouTube channel where they just do trick shots, all right?
Oh, yeah,
this dude isn't really.
Okay, yes.
That was the joke. And now that I've had to explain it, Booze, now I hate it.
Now it went right over my head, and dude, not perfect. Yeah.
Very unperfect of you, dude.
Yeah, very unperfect. For some reason I was thinking, I don't know why I was thinking, but I thought you were talking about the actor, and because the actor, the whole time I'm watching this episode, he looks super familiar. I just could not place him. I don't know where I've seen him before, but he looks very familiar.
His name is Eugene Bird, and if you cruise through his IMDb page, I don't recognize a single one of those things that he's like most known for, but he is in something that you and I have both seen. But we just can't find it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research, because that's probably gonna bug me until I figure it out, because he looks so familiar.
It's not Dude Perfect, by the way. You don't even have to look.
Yeah. Yep. And then after they're done with the basketball game, then we cut back to Mary Beth, and she's walking with this other girl, and she's digging through her purse as they're talking, and all of a sudden she pulls out the glasses. And if you remember, she threw them away in the trash can not long before. So now it's getting a little weird. You know, something's up with these glasses, because they're reappearing. Yeah, obviously I can't get rid of them. Not long after, so she's like, okay, well, you know what? Not even going to throw them away anymore. I'm going back to Sardo's shop and I'm going to throw these in the mail. Did she throw them in the mail slot or did she go talk to him? I can't remember. Do you remember?
I think she goes to talk to him.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Hold up. Is this
right.
before or after she's at her house looking at all the other stuff, like the pot on the stove and
yeah, I
like
think
the
this is
cookie
right
jars?
before she goes. This is right before she goes home. She goes to the shop and then they're like talking through the mail slot, which was funny. Yeah. And she's like telling him like, hey, what's up with these glasses? They really work. And the whole time he's doing, the salesman thing, like, oh, if you don't, if you don't like them or whatever, there's no refunds, like that type of thing. And and then she tells him that they work, and I can't remember exactly the rest of that conversation how it went, but not long after that, she goes home, and that's where what you're talking about, where she starts seeing stuff,
which was so cool, dude. I still didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if it was like another dimension or if she was seeing, what, but I just liked what was going on, and I also loved. Can we talk about the basketball dimension players that were? Hold on, we're not even there yet, are we? I'm jumping around.
Yes, I forgot all about that. Yes, I forgot to write that down because even the basketball was black. It made me laugh.
Oh, it was? I didn't notice that. They had a black basketball?
Yeah,
That's
it's completely
so funny,
black,
dude.
It's completely black.
Hilarious. I just love seeing, in my head, they were just black putties playing basketball. And then when they realized that they were like being watched, then they got all upset and they started like squaring up on
they did.
Mary Beth, right?
It was some like prison yard basketball scene.
Yeah. Like, who told you could look at us? This ain't for viewing. Get out of here.
Right.
Oh, all right. It's
That's
all right. I looked at you.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite parts. And plus, so imagine that, right? These guys are scary. They're wearing all black. They're in another dimension. You don't know what they are, if they're going to hurt you, what they're doing. All of that is like encompassed in this rainbow glow around the TV, which is so like, what's the phrase? Oxymoronic. It's just so it's so juxtaposed is what I'm looking for.
Yes.
That was so funny. Watching like these tough interdimensional beings be flanked by a rainbow glitter effect. I loved it.
Yeah, that was
cool.
pretty good. That was pretty good. After she gets home, she found them in her purse again. She puts them out on the looks like just like a kitchen counter type of thing, and she just looks at them for a moment and then decides internally, okay, I'm gonna put these on again and see what happens now that I'm actually home. So she puts them on, and then that's when she looks over at the stove, and there's a kettle pot steaming. But there wasn't before, so she lifts them up, and there's no kettle pot there. There's nothing steaming. But as soon as she puts them on, it goes back.
Do you know, and I don't remember this, but do you know if she could actually make contact with these other things? Could she touch the kettle or
I don't think
jar?
so. I think her hand I'm pretty sure her hand just like passed through them whenever she actually went up to interact with it.
Okay, cool. Okay, I did remember. Thank you.
And then she does pretty much the same thing. She's looking around the house and she sees a bunch of a lot of stuff that makes sense but doesn't make sense because and then like the fireplace. She goes up to the fireplace and when she puts the glasses on, the fireplace is lit, but when she takes them off, there's nothing burning at all.
Yes. Yeah. Adding to the creep factor, man.
Right. Absolutely. And so she starts walking more around her house, and then she goes into one of the bedrooms, and then lo and behold, there's the woman, same woman from before, sitting there with her book on the bed, and she points again. And this time, we do the whole, I'm sure you remember this too, the 90s, Are You Afraid of the Dark zoom in. She screams when she sees the lady, and then we start panning in on her and then panning out and panning in and panning out.
Oh, yeah. Was it another dolly zoom, right?
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I must have not wrote that down because that was dope. I don't remember that.
Yep. And then she turns around and sees that there's two figures standing there that the woman was pointing at. As she's standing there like freaking out and screaming, the figures are actually coming closer and approaching her this time. She takes them off, puts them back on, and they're getting closer each time to the point where she gets scared enough that she just completely takes them off and runs back down the hallway.
That's right. And that's when she runs back to Sardo, right?
Yes. Yep. That's exactly
where she goes
right.
back to the shop and
Yep.
and he's like, "Oh, I can come fix it for a price or something, right?"
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
there is a cost. Yeah.
Exactly. And she goes back to the shop, like you said, and explains to him what's going on. And he's doing, again, this stereotypical Sardo thing where he's like, oh, it's working. And at first he's obviously standoffish, thinking that she's trying to get a refund again. And then she explains to him that, no, this is actually working. This is what I'm seeing. And then so he pulls out this big book, sets it up on a podium and starts scrolling through, and oh, this is yeah, I can fix this, but it's called the spell of the second sight, and that's what you have to do in order to fix what's exactly going on in your home. And he tells her that she's seeing another dimension, and once this window is open, those beings can take over. And in order to get rid of that, that's where you need the spell of the second sight. And in order to do that, you need somebody who's well versed in this and knows what he's doing. And then she's like, well, do you know how to do this? And he's, of course I know how to do this. You know,
of course. Look at me.
I'm Sardo. You know, I know how to do this.
Sardo. That reminds me of every most famous actors. If you hear them tell their story about how they started, it's usually from a lie. Like Jackie from that 70s show. I guess she told the director that she was 18 when she was actually 16, just to get the job. You know, what
right? I mean? Yeah. I've heard that.
Thankfully, she did, because she's doing great things now.
Fantastic.
And she's great on the show. And
absolutely.
And
yep.
I even remember Chris. It goes the other way too. Chris Hemsworth. They didn't want a super tall Thor, so he's I don't know what he is, 6'6". I'm making that up, but he told everybody that he was only 6'3" so that he could get the role. You know what I mean? It's just
right.
People will
just
straight up
embellish
lie
a little
and then
bit,
just figure it out
there.
as they go.
Right, exactly. So, sorry, this is my favorite line of the entire episode. I'm not really sure what yours is, but Sardo offers to cast this counterspell for her, and the initial offer is $50, and she's like, $50? And very quickly, he's like, $20, but I'm losing on the deal.
$50?
What?
All right, 20. But I'm losing on the deal.
Right. But I'm losing on the deal.
Yeah.
I think that's going to come back.
Yeah, I think so too.
I know that Sardo and Vink come back multiple times throughout the series, and they bring back their catchphrases with them. I'm pretty sure that's going to be one of them.
Yeah.
But I'm losing on the deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, we agree. We have the same favorite line of this episode as well. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, that was a good one. So she confirms it with him, and he's like, okay. He starts to gather all the materials needed in order to do the spell of the second sight, and he starts looking for this dust. Dust of I wrote it down, but I don't remember how to pronounce it. Like Deirdron or Deiron or something like that. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I'm mispronouncing that, but he tells her, "Oh, I'm out of it. I actually sold the last pouch of it to Weeds, your friend." And so not long after that, and then for some reason, maybe you can enlighten me if you remember exactly why. The next scene is Weeds about to dump it down the toilet. Is that because none of it's working and he's just like, this was a waste of money, or it is working and I want to get rid of it?
Well, we have reason to believe both examples are true, because we failed a couple times with the yogurt and with the basketball, but then come to find out he actually, well, no, I want to believe that he's dumping it because he believes that it doesn't work. I think he knows in his mind it failed the yogurt. Well, shoot, dude. But he also saw the punching locker thing succeed, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, maybe I got to switch up. He's dumping it because he knows how powerful it is. But at the same time, that's the point, dude. You bought it to mess with people, and now that it's working, I don't know. Maybe this was just like a weird writing thing that either went over my head or it is just an unexplained thing. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe I'm just overanalyzing and just watch the show. You know,
what the hell, dude? Do you think you host a show about Are You Afraid of the Dark? Look at you overanalyzing every scene. Oh my gosh.
I know. The nerve.
Dude.
The nerve.
How dare you look into things like that?
Yeah. And right as he's about to flush it, Mary Jane catches him right before
Mary Beth.
Yeah. Mary Jane. Mary Jane stopped Peter right before he did that. Yeah, okay. And then yeah, Mary Beth. And then we get like this amazing, awesome scene that just cracked me up the whole time, which is Sardo and both of them sitting together at like a card table type of thing, and he's doing the crystal ball type of thing that you've seen in all the cartoons and movies and everything in the 90s, like the exact scenario play by play of every single one that you've ever seen. He's doing it, and it's awesome.
That looked so fun, just to say alakazam over a crystal ball like that, dude. How cool.
Right. Exactly.
So cheesy. I bet they all had a good time with that.
Yep. And it was also making me laugh because Weeds was talking some mad shit the whole time to him, and he's not even addressing it the whole time. He's just looking at Mary Beth and like, man, are we gonna take this dude seriously? Are you kidding me with this? Like, really? Like, and then all of a sudden, everything changes. The room goes black, and it starts shaking, and Mary Jane puts on the specs to see that they're completely surrounded by these black figures now.
I remember this part for sure. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, and it was really good. But now, not long after that, we figure out, because Weeds just says it aloud, that you can take those off because I can see them too. So now all three of them can actually see all of these figures that are completely surrounding them. So it's not just Mary Beth just with the glasses on anymore.
It was a very good touch of them just to start the show with one figure and then two, right?
Right.
And then maybe like the five that were on the basketball team. I love seeing that ramp up of escalation and potential danger to now we're in a room full of them, dude. I think that was so smart. It really worked on me.
It did. It was creepy for sure. I enjoyed it. And then Mary Beth throws like dust, like as they're like right about to reach the center of the room where they're located at. She just throws dust out, and all the figures disappear. So we think, we get a moment where like, okay, well, they've done it. The spell worked. They did exactly what it was supposed to do. But then the room starts, I think, shaking and doing stuff like that. I can't remember exactly what happened after that. Do you remember?
I remember the room is still black. For some reason, everything's good and everything's resolved, but the room is still black, and that part had me guessing.
Yes, same. Okay, yep, that's right. That is right. Yeah. And then these giant eyes begin to zoom in.
Yes.
And which I thought was pretty cool. I liked it, and I thought it was pretty creepy. And then Sardo says the second best line, if not, tied with the best line of the whole episode. He just says, "Take the children," and then immediately dives underneath the table.
Oh, Sardo.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, playing that role really well.
Yeah, he's good at it.
And then I wrote this down because I wanted to be sure that I actually got it right, and that we don't see a mouth or anything else, but we just get this great big encompassing voice that accompanies these eyes that says, "You have tampered with the cosmic seal. Two universes can't exist from the same plane. Balance must be restored."
Can you do me a favor?
What's that?
Turn on your narrator voice and do that one again.
Okay. Yeah. I messed it up anyway, so. All right. You have tampered with the cosmic seal. Two universes can't exist from the same plane. Balance must be restored.
Yes, dude. Thank you. Good. Yo, if they ever redo the Dark series and they need somebody to read that line, it's you.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'm always looking for work, so.
It's you, man. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember that part too. What happened right afterwards? Because my memory is failing.
It looks, if I remember correctly, we don't really get too much confirmation immediately. It just looks like the spell works to a certain extent, and then all of a sudden the room begins to howl with wind, and it looks like they're almost getting like either sucked or pushed in a direction. And because Mary Beth and Weeds both kind of go sideways, and the camera's like got that sideways angle when they're talking back and forth, just kind of questioning what's going on.
Got it.
And then like it snaps, and then all of a sudden you see Mary Beth's house again. So it looks like, oh, okay, well, everything worked out. Looks like the spell worked, everything fixed. And then we see two similar actors walk in the room, or not, I guess not actors, but similar kids that look almost exactly like Mary Beth and almost exactly like Weeds, but they're not them.
I thought that was so cool, man.
Yes.
Now, did you immediately know that that wasn't the original Mary Beth, or did it take you a second?
It took me a second. And honestly, the way they were dressed and the way they came in the room, obviously the same house and everything, I assumed that it was them. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, that doesn't look like Weeds.
Yep.
And then I looked a little bit closer. I'm like, okay, that definitely is. Oh, that's not even Mary Beth either.
Yeah, the exact same thing happened to me. I just cruised right past Mary Beth. I knew it was her. But then when Weeds popped in and he kind of took center frame, I thought, whoa, wait, no. That's not Weeds. That's not my Weeds.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Who's this guy?
Yeah, who's this guy? Yeah, I almost had the same exact thing. For a second, I thought there was a part of in my head where I'm like, hey, did they switch actors on me? Like, did something happen with this other dude? And then they tried to slide this in all sly-like, and I'm definitely noticing it. But no, that's not the case at all. And then right behind them, we see that same woman appear, and she removes her hood. She tells Arlene, which is the girl's name, you opened up a window into a parallel universe, and I closed it. And then the next scene, which I enjoyed this as well, I'm sure you probably did too, is we see Mary Beth, Weeds, and Sardo all trapped inside that crystal ball screaming for help.
Yes, for sure. Now, this was an ending that I loved, and this was, it's so typical if you're going to make a show for kids. Like at the end, everything's cool. You know what I mean? It's like it's a TGIF show where the whole thing gets resolved at the end of the 24 minutes, and we all go back to living our lives. But what makes Dark so special is that doesn't happen. It almost can't happen. You know what I mean? We need to find out that, hey, our team lost. Right?
Yep.
Or maybe we were rooting for the wrong side the whole time and we just didn't know it until the end. Mm-hmm. I love that aspect, dude. That almost floored me. I think I was like making lunch or dessert or something in the kitchen, and I had to stop and like rewind it just to take that scene in again, dude, because it was very well done.
I think so too. I enjoyed it. I was, it's that nice twist that you expect, but you don't expect in a way, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I knew something was coming, but I just didn't know what.
Right, and that's what it was, and I thought I really, really enjoyed that. And then we cut back to the campfire, and Kristen has like explain it, because I can tell you right now, as a kid, I don't know if I would have gotten this. Do you think, were you smart enough as a kid to understand what was going on if you would have watched this at whatever age that was that you ended up watching the show?
Nope.
I don't think in any universe, parallel or not, little Booze would not be getting what was going on. I probably was just super confused.
Little Booze. No, I would have seen this and gone, now they're in a snow globe.
Yeah, they're in a crystal ball. Yeah, like, oh, okay, well that's where they are forever then. That's why I wonder why that is. That's weird.
That's one of the beauties about doing this with you, Booze, and doing this with you, the listener, too, is that we get to go back and kind of like relive this for the first time again with brand new eyes, and just really, not take it for granted and be able to see all the sides that maybe they wanted us to see the whole time, but we just didn't. So
yeah.
I like that aspect too.
I did too. Then, like I said, we cut back to the campfire, and Kristen kind of explains it out loud to everybody, which I feel like she's probably talking directly to the viewer as well, so that if you didn't get it now, this is why, this is what's going on. And she says that, so there's two universes fighting for the same space, and one of them won. Mm-hmm. And Gary's like, yep, that's right.
Yep. Good one, Kristen.
Yeah, good job.
You nailed it.
Yeah,
they got to do that for some of those deeper episodes, those philosophical episodes with like the,
for sure,
the big twist. Yeah, you gotta
do a little bit of hand holding for sure.
For me, at least, that's for sure.
Yeah. And then Gary hands out super specs for all the members of the Midnight Society to put on.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember this. Keep going.
Yeah, and he's like, all right, well, I'm going to count to 3, and then all of you guys put them on. And then we get the countdown. All of them puts them on. And Gary gets his revenge for all of them talking smack about him earlier because David, who was dressed up in one of those morph suits, who was quote unquote sick at the beginning of the episode, if you remember that.
Yeah, well, he got better.
He got better, yeah.
Full recovery. Good for him.
Yeah, good job, David. There must have took some really good medication or something, got back in the fight. That was good. That was good. And then, yeah, David's standing in there in one of those black morph suits and scares everybody, and everybody runs off except for David, Gary, and Kristen, who are all left to laugh. And that's how the episode ends, which already was a good ending with the actual story. And then that was an even better ending, not better, but just as good as ending with the actual Midnight Society at the campfire. So, for sure,
wholeheartedly agree, dude. Agree. Yep. Very cool.
Yep. And I think that's why, beginning to end, that's why this is definitely one of my favorite episodes thus far, and why I rated it so high, because I think from front to back, it was just a really, really good episode.
I have nothing to complain about, dude. It's dope. Like, Jeff Fisher did the music. Okay. It was still good, right? Story was good. The writing was good. Like, the delivery was good. Twist was good. I loved, I'll say it again, the rainbow frame that they put on. That was cool. I like that.
That was.
Hey, you ready for the worst segue ever? Do you know what color's in the rainbow? Orange. Orange is in the rainbow, right? You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, I do.
Orange is one of the best colors, right? And if you want your own custom Nickelodeon splat sign with your name on it, whatever it is, it doesn't matter if it's a common name or an uncommon name. Look at the way my name is spelled. It's stupid. Makes no sense. You can have a custom one here. If you go to Mini 3D Print Shop, it's in the description of this episode, and it's in the description of the YouTube video if you're watching the video podcast, which exists, by the way. Hope you're on both. I don't know, man. It's all good, though. So here's my advice. Go visit the Etsy shop, Mini 3D Print Shop. Get your own custom Nick Splat sign, and you'll get 25% off if you use the discount code NIGHTMARES, right? 25% off, dude. And they can make it say whatever you want. And it's high quality, too. Like, it's 3D printed, but it's like sanded really smooth on the back, and I even dropped it when I opened it. Still fine. No cracks, no nothing, dude. I'm not worried about breaking it on accident. It's tough, man. I like it.
It is. It is.
I have one, Booze has one, and we want you to have one too. In fact, when you get one with whatever your name is on the sign, take a picture, send it to us. I would like to make some kind of collage or some kind of collection of all of ours together, right? Just to kind of grow this community, dude. Do you see where I'm going, Booze?
I do, and I agree wholeheartedly.
Anything to add before we wrap, sir?
No, I don't think so. I think I yammered on for long enough about this episode, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
It was a good episode, though, dude. Lots to yammer on about it. I'm glad we did.
That's for sure.
Well, hey, everybody. Thank you for watching this episode of the 90s Nightmares podcast. We're releasing episodes every 2 weeks, but we've got like a clips channel on YouTube and TikTok and some other nonsense where we get to kind of interact with you in the meantime. So find us on there. It's all good, dude. Also email us if you have a favorite episode that you're just waiting for us to cover, or if you have a suggestion of, a series or a show that you want us to do that maybe is a little bit out of the ordinary, but you want us to hear us cover it anyway. 90snightmares@gmail.com. Just zap an email over to us, dude.
Yes, please do. Please do. We definitely want to hear from you, and on anything and everything, all those socials, follow us. And definitely, again, Derek already said it earlier, but definitely grab you a splat for you. Get you one for your significant other, get you one for your kids, get you one for your mom, your dad, whoever,
They can say whatever you want.
Yeah. Whatever you want.
Whatever you want, dude. Like Leet Mount. All right, everybody. This was fun. Booze, thank you for your time, man. If you don't have anything else to add, we'll see everybody in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. We'll see you there. Thanks.